Now we're going to start on page 7. We're going to add a second water line. I'm going to go back and bring up the water lines dialog by going water, sewer, lines, water, add. We automatically bump up to the next name in the database, in this case WL-2. WL-2, or waterline 2, I'll choose this blue element that runs along the southern end of our subdivision and curves up to the north. I'm going to select that element as my alignment. Again, following the prompts in the lower left of my Power Civil screen, I accept that element and then I choose a direction. And I'll just go ahead and flow to the right or up, around and up to the north. Now the first time we designed by user-defined pipe when we set the size. Now I'm going to choose the second option called library-defined pipe. A water sewer library has been attached to our project through our project preferences. So therefore, in that water sewer library we have a few types set up. PVC type or ductile iron or DI. You choose a type, then you choose from that type one of the available lines that you would like to use. In this case I'll choose 8-inch water. In the library is stored the type, the item, and with that item the size and master units. It also stores the DNC manager item that should be used to draft it. Like the first water line, we chose and searched the DDB file and found the appropriate item we wanted to use. The water sewer library connects those two automatically. I don't need to change the interval at this point. I'm just going to use the same, and I'm going to use the same depth. Now prior to clicking apply, let me just show you the water sewer library. I can access it right here from the waterline dialog. So I'll go ahead and click that, and you can see highlighted in the water sewer library is the 8-inch water. So the water sewer library contains pipes and services, and from the pipes it has water and sewer pipes. So I can pre-store a bunch of types of water lines that I may use. I can save those off, and each item has several details about it. The ID, the type, the pay item with a connection to the DDB file, the diameter, roughness, thickness, and a minimum slope. Not to mention trenching details for laying that out. We also have services in the library. You can set up services for sewer services in our sewer services tool, and then the various horizontal and vertical data associated with that particular service that you're setting up. So the water sewer libraries, then everybody could access the same library and from project to project be choosing what types of lines they're putting in. So in this case I simply just choose the 8-inch water, click apply, and it creates that water line in my database. Now as I look on page 1-8 in my manual, I see a layout there of all the other water lines. So I've got a couple more 8-inch water lines and a couple of 6-inch water lines. So let's go ahead and finish selecting those. Without closing the waterline dialog, I'm simply just going to select the Add Waterline icon on the waterline dialog, give it a line ID name, and click OK. At this point, I'm going to select my waterline 3 based on the diagram on page 1-8 in my manual, accept the direction, So I'm going to flow from east to west in this case, and I'm going to choose the same size. Same interval, same clearance, and same depth. So I just click apply. That was quick. Do it for number 4. Same thing. Add waterline number 4. Select my alignment element on the western end of my subdivision. The flow direction, everything else the same, click apply. So you can see you can quickly start to add these in. Let me finish up with waterline 5. I'll select that alignment element to the south. I'll change the size to 6 inch. Notice the size changes. The value of the size changes. Click apply, and I will also select waterline 6 up at the north end of the site, that alignment element. Same size, 6 inch, and apply. The one thing that we didn't look at instead of a lineup using this option is the range table. Using a range table is what I might use if I've got one graphical element, but it's going to represent many different sizes of line. So for example, on this waterline 6 at the north end, maybe it's a 6 inch and then it expands into an 8 inch. Well, I could set that up using my range table. So instead of one element being one size line, this element is going to be broken up into multiple lines. And right now you can see that maybe I want to say 8 inch, and I want 8 inch to be start right there. So from station 86 plus 90 to the end of the water line, it's 8 inch. But from the first beginning station to station 86 plus 90, it could be, let's say, 6 inch. And I'll modify that and change it in the list. So you can break your water line up like that if you want. But in our case, we simply do want to use a 6 inch. But in a way, I could have drawn this, for example, this entire thing as a shape and then assigned it, or a complex element, and assigned it different sizes depending on where I was along that element. And that's called use range table. So now that we have our water lines in there, the next step is to create nodes along the water line. Those would be gate valves, T's, bins, fire hydrants, that type of information. We'll look at that next.